Nancy here, and right now I'd like to show you some examples of knit and purl stitches and what you can do with them. There really is only the knit and purl stitch, and it's how you change them on the pattern that creates your pattern. Here we have a little swatch. I have 4 of them actually. This is a little gauge swatch. On this side you can see are the knit stitches. This has a name. It's called Stockinette. And how you get this pattern is you knit one row, come back and purl the next row. So when you flip it over, you can see here are your purls. And the way I like to remember purls is they're horizontal like a string of pearls. Some people assume that this is automatically the wrong side of your work, but that's not the case. This too has a name, and it's called reverse stockinette. So just because this is the purl side does not necessarily mean that this is the wrong side of your fabric. You'll also notice something. This is quite old. It does curl. Stockinette curls. A lot of the really cute brimmed hats you see the girls wear that have the roll up, they don't do anything special with it. They're just allowing stockinette to do what it does, which is roll. That's okay, but if you don't want it to roll, then you might want to do something else to whatever you're making, which is where ribbing often comes in. Ribbing can be anything. It can be 3 purl, 2 knits, whatever you want. 1 by 1 would be 1 knit, 1 purl. This is probably the most common, which is a 2 by 2 knit purl pattern. And for the record, it's actually the stretchiest. But what it does is it secures your stockinette piece like a sweater sleeve or whatnot, or the bottom of a sweater, so it doesn't roll and it keeps it in place. You can also use this entire rib pattern for a design. It's great for a scarf, and of course everyone knows they're perfect for a stretchy hat. This is called garter stitch. What garter stitch is knitting every single row. It looks identical on both sides. And notice how nice and flat it lies. That is the advantage of garter stitch. And it's probably one of the first stitches you'll learn to use when the real popular floofy scarves, the real fluffy eyelash scarves were in style. They would use a great big needle, super thin yarn, and they would just knit until they ran out of yarn. It was just a garter stitch pattern they were using. This is one of my favorites. This is called seed stitch, and it's done over an odd number of stitches where you knit a stitch, purl a stitch, knit a stitch, purl a stitch, and it's an uneven pattern, and I think it's gorgeous. It can work with so many things. Really nice with scarves, really anything you want to make. And that's the different patterns of knitting.